I hereby declare by my satanic powers the beginning of this stream.
Stream?
Episode, whatever.
Sure. We've already been streaming for some time.
They don't know that if they're watching this later on YouTube, though. They have to feel special. This YouTube video is for them specifically.
Oh. Well, they're not. So, your satanic powers? We glossed over that. What?
Don't worry about it.
You have satanic powers now?
So, anyway, we're gonna read a book today, kids. It's story time. Unfortunately, I don't have a drag queen here for the story hour. I guess I'll have to suffice.
I can do some drag real quick. I'll keep introing. I'll
Do you have a boa? It might help. I have a boa somewhere. Anyway. So, this is a book written by Eric Metaxas and Tim Raglan. This is called Donald Drains the Swamp. This fine piece of literature is sold on the MyPillow website. And it's basically Trump propaganda. I cannot tell genuinely if this is really for kids. Like, if you're a MAGA person and you have kids, are you going to read this to them? Because it's like a 60-page, picture book. This would take longer than right before bedtime, probably, to read them. Or is this just more satire of like, haha, here's the story of how great Donald Trump is, but in a children's book format? Either way, we're going to take a look. Wow, okay, I just looked. You look like, you don't look like an anime protagonist, but you look like the friend of the anime protagonist.
Oh no, don't get into the mecha. Your dad said that you couldn't, but I'm the only one that can do it now. They're attacking the base. That's loosely Gundam. Well, you don't think I'm pretty or what? Hold on.
You're
I'm gonna do both
lovely.
sides. I'm gonna do both sides. It looks more like you know what this really looks like? It just looks like I have a gay mullet. This is just a gay mullet. I'm not even in drag. This is just. I'm just an effervescent bear. So. Anyway.
So
Donald Trump would hate this.
This is Donald Drains the Swamp. It's rated M for MAGA. It says
certainly not mature.
I'm not making that up. It's rated M for MAGA. And this offends me. What does it say? Hold on. The true heir to the Far Side's Gary Larson. Now, I don't know if anyone is a fan of the Far Side comics. They're pretty clever. They're good. I have a complete collection somewhere around here of the Far Side comics. The fact that they're comparing this to the Far Side comics hurts me. So, let's check it out.
Donald is gonna be in his full caveman attire, which is how you want your presidents.
Let's see if I can show this to the camera appropriately, and I'll, of course, put it close to the camera at the end of each page. A long, long time ago, there was a kingdom where everyone lived in caves. So they called them cavemen.
That's how caves work. They're boulders that we carve the middle out of. That's true.
I've seen the Flintstones. Okay. I know how this works. Uh-huh. But the king of all the cavemen went to live in a white castle in the middle of a swamp, far,
like with the sliders?
far away.
The place with the sliders?
Yes, the place with the sliders. He really likes the onion and the little pickles.
I like the onions and little pickles too.
So because he never saw or talked with the people he ruled, he forgot about them, and all people were sad. Can I just appreciate and thank them for not making this a Barack Obama caveman, because they could have so easily made this Barack Obama caveman, and I'm glad they didn't.
So who was that supposed to be? The King of England?
I think it's just supposed to be generic president, bigwig.
White Castle is the White House.
Deep state, yes, the White Castle's the White House.
So why do they have cavemen and
a monarchy?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say fiefdoms, but yeah, that?
It's all the same thing. It's all in the past. Everything in the past is all the same, and everything now is different.
Okay.
Among them lived a famous caveman named Donald. Donald loved to build caves. In fact, everyone wanted a cave built by Donald. This is an accurate physique to what Donald Trump looks like in real life, by the way.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
real estate mogul Donald Trump, obviously, a very successful landowner that a lot of people want to live in his buildings. That's true, lots of them. And
they know he doesn't. Yeah, I'm sure.
No, he builds them. No, he builds them with his hands.
His company's like a real estate company. They buy property and lease it.
No, he makes them just like the peanut guy.
Okay.
Jimmy Carter, that's the one, the peanut guy.
One day, a group of people came to Donald. They were very upset. Come in, Donald said. Have a seat. What's on your mind?
On my golden nugget.
He has a gold rock because
he has a gold throne at home.
He's classy, like the real Donald Trump.
It's the best goddamn rock I ever saw.
The king has forgotten all about us, they said. Donald nodded. I've noticed. We tried to talk to the king, but the creatures who live in the swamp take up all his time. We try to get his attention, but they always stop us. Would you talk to the king and ask him to help us? I could try, he said. But you'll have to get past the swamp creatures. They're slippery and scaly and slimy. I think I can handle them, Donald said. Maybe I'll wear gloves. He is. Look at how ginormous his hands are.
But why is he wearing gloves?
Those are some meaty fucking hands on that guy.
Those are his man paws.
Those are girthy fingers.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's not gonna grope you with little fingers. This is obviously not to scale in real life, in which he has very tiny hands, but it's fine.
So, the next
That's
day,
where dinosaurs hang out.
Donald traveled to the edge of the swamp. The first swamp creature he met was a Lobbyosaurus. Hello, Donald said. Hello, said the Lobbyosaurus.
A Lobbyosaurus.
I need to speak with the king, Donald said. The people he rules over need his help.
It's not the greatest you've ever done.
I know, I'm trying to focus on holding the book at the same time. It's difficult.
Holding a book and doing
I can't do it without your gesticulation. Like I can do it out here. I can say, I am the president, okay? Sleepy Joe, he has, Sleepy Joe has stolen the election from me, your rightful president, okay? Him and China have worked together to undermine democracy.
It's deteriorating, but there were some sweet spots in there.
Maybe it's like my curse is lifting. Ever since Donald Trump left the presidency, I'm not seeing him talk as much. So slowly my ability to mimic him is leaving me. It's for the best, honestly. It doesn't work that way, said the Lobbyosaurus. The king only helps those who live in the swamp. That's the way it's always been. Would you like to live in the swamp? Maybe I can arrange something. No thanks, said Donald. I don't care for the swamp. How rude, said the Lobbyosaurus. You should be more diplomatic. I'm very sorry, said Donald. I don't like you very much either.
What? So who's this book for?
Again, I don't know. I can't tell.
Is a kid going to be enraptured by this West Wing episode, but with dinosaurs?
Donald then tries speaking to the other swamp creatures, but they were all the same. Sad. It just ends with one-word sentence. Sad.
They were just sad?
Yeah.
So he's walking away looking sad, though.
Like, I think this is Mitch McConnell. I think this is supposed to...
Mitch McConnell.
Because he's like a turtle. Yeah. I think this is supposed to be Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
With the glasses.
Where's Nancy Pelosi?
I think this is supposed to be Nancy Pelosi.
Okay, so who's the?
I can't tell who these two are supposed to be.
Okay.
Donald went back to see his friends. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Donald said, but it's even worse than I thought. What do you mean? Everyone asked. I mean, we're gonna have to get drastic, he said. How drastic? Donald looked them in the eyes. We've got to drain the swamp, he said.
With his... Are they gesticulating like he gesticulates?
I think so. It's him doing like, we have to drain the swamp.
Okay. This is sad. An adult combo wrote this, like a team. Like, imagine if you and I did comic books and we wrote something about, I don't know, who do we like? Who's a politician we like? Bernie? Imagine if we sucked Bernie's dick this much. That's so much. So much. I'd get lockjaw.
Everyone gasped. You shouldn't say that, someone said. Yes, said another. The swamp creatures might get angry.
What?
Donald smiled. You've all been angry for a long time. Maybe it's their turn.
This implies that there was pushback on people saying, nah, don't get rid of corruption in Washington. No one was... What? If Donald Trump went in there and ended cash lobbying in Washington, I'd be like, that's a pretty good fucking move.
Yeah, but he didn't. The point was that no one believed...
Exacerbated
the people who criticized Donald Trump didn't assume he would do that, and we were correct. He exacerbated corruption.
Yeah, I don't think I was wrong about a single thing about the presidency. He was just terrible the whole time.
But some of the people didn't believe he could do it. No one can drain the swamp, they said. It's impossible. Or they think specifically that a man known for his history of corruption shouldn't be
Might
trusted.
not be the best.
A lot of cavemen thought Donald was crazy, and they walked away muttering, "You shouldn't have said that."
Does this book have the part where he goes into the cave that he wasn't invited to while a bunch of teenagers are dressing?
I think that's on the cutting room floor. I think they deemed that inappropriate for children.
Does he have a cave daughter that he said, if she wasn't my daughter, I would fuck?
Technically, it's caveman days, so I think they're still cool with that.
Does he have any? Are there any excerpts in here where he would, like maybe grab someone's cave pussy, or just cave? I don't know what he would call it in this timeline. I
don't think everything gets called a cave noun just because they're in caveman times.
If they were in space, it'd be something. It'd be space.
Like, you think if Donald went to space, he'd have a space dick.
Yeah.
It's just a dick in space. It's not a space
no, it's
dick. It's not a cave puss.
Again,
just because it's caveman times.
Cave puss. This is much like land scurvy. It's a similar affliction. A cussy, yes.
I'm afflicted with the cussy.
Yeah.
I have land scurvy. Oh, I have the cussy. It's okay. There's lots of vitamin C in this cussy. Let's solve our problems.
Hey, I could eat a cussy. I'm just saying. Sometimes you get a little peckish. High in vitamin C, don't want land scurvy. You don't want it. I'm just saying, you don't want them.
Others stuck around. Go, Donald, go, they said. You can do it. Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. But how could he do it? No one could figure out how.
Nobody.
But Donald knew how. He'd done many things like this before. It's simple, he said. We just need to make a way for the swamp water to escape. We'll dig a trench.
He's actually turned into, like, gay payouts.
It will be the best.
Is that a diagram of the swamp being drained?
Yes, it is. It is. I'll show it a little closer in a sec. It will be the best, biggest trench you've ever seen. It'll be huge, and will even come in below budget.
Was this written before the end of his presidency?
I think so, yes.
Because it didn't work.
Let me see what the publishing date on this is.
publishing date 2017. Right
In fairness, I don't know
after.
what edition this is. They might have done multiple prints, but 2018.
2018.
So.
Here we go. Oh God.
So the next day, Donald went to the edge of the swamp. He put down his club and picked up a shovel and began to dig. When the swamp creatures saw him, they were furious. "What do you think you're doing?" they demanded. "Are you crazy?" And this is all of them chastising our god emperor Donald Trump.
He's actually diverting the water into a black community so he can flood their neighborhood.
Donald smiled. "I'm digging a trench. It will be the biggest trench you've ever seen, and it will
Does it
drain
really
the swamp."
fucking say that?
It says that. I'm not fucking
Because it's going to be the best and biggest trench
I
you've ever
am
seen.
not making this up. "It will be the biggest trench you've ever seen, and it will drain the swamp." "You're mean," they said. "We need this swamp. Where will we live?" I'm just gonna
destroy your ecosystem.
"I can build you a nice cave near where I live. Lots of us live there," he said.
What the fuck?
They said. "We can't stand the people who live outside the swamp. They're uneducated. They're uncultured. They're deplorable." But Donald wasn't listening. He knew he had a job to do, so he just kept digging.
What is the Donald Trump real life action that represents the digging of the trench?
I don't know. I don't know, like, what...
Like, what did he do, though?
I'm not...
This is cherry tree chopping stuff.
Yeah.
This is just myth.
I don't know.
It's not a good allegory for it. Like, it's not happening. None of this occurred.
For anyone who, by the way, thinks this is satire, it's certainly leaning into joking about Donald Trump, but this is not someone who does not like Donald
This is
Trump.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, I'm the little blurb about the author in the back. Writer of over 30 children's books, including bestsellers Squanto and The Miracle of Thanksgiving. It's time
Squanto?
Yeah. He's also written for Veggie Tales, which was a production of Focus on the Family before it got picked up by Netflix.
I don't know what it is about insecure boomer right-winger men to where they have to attach their masculinity to the what they perceive as the achievements of a greater man than them. But it happens so much. This happens outside of politics too. Often, the biggest example I can think of is sports, where they get like super emotionally attached to sports or something like that. I like sports, but if my team loses, I'm like, okay, cool. That was a fun experience. And then I move on. But there are like people that like it's their whole life. Like, I can't believe they're fucking. It's like, this is the same phenomenon, but in politics, which is worse. But I don't get. I would really like to know. There's got to be like an ex-Donald Trump supporter that is like cognizant of the cult of personality they were a part of that I would love to discuss with to understand sort of the pathos there. Like, what is the thought process that leads you to, like, I mean, for lack of a better term, it's worship of this fucking weirdo.
Yep. I don't get it.
I don't. Very strange.
He then noticed something he'd never seen before. The green color of the swamp water looked strange. It wasn't a normal swamp color at all. You know, swamp color. It was the color of money. In fact, it was money. The whole swamp was filled with money as far as the eye could see. Now Donald knew why all the swamp creatures lived there.
Are there little dollary dues in the
They're poorly
swamp?
illustrated. It's just little triangles, basically.
Poorly illustrated triangle money.
Yeah.
So interestingly, in this universe, we have caves that sort of pop out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We have dinosaurs that exist at the same time. We have kingdoms and fiefdoms and castles
And we have
we also
fiat
have
currency.
the printed fiat currency of America available in the color of green right now. Okay.
Which has no value because it's just laying around.
Right, of course. Right. It's in a swamp. It doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Then Donald saw something huge out of the corner of his eye. It was the biggest...
I think you mean huge?
He saw something huge out of the corner of his eye. It was the biggest swamp creature of them all. It was a monster called...
Hillary. Is it Hillary? AOC? Socialism? The left?
Think about the funny... What's the pun you would use here? Genuinely. Think about it for 5 seconds.
Well, I don't pun.
Chat, can you think of a pun that a right-winger would make about who is the worst in the swamp? Class, can you write a terrible right-wing comedy book?
The pun.
It's pretty good in terms of puns, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, I'm just gonna...
Okay. Give me a hint. Who's it about?
It's a figure that's typically associated with anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Wait, is this going to be anti what's his face?
It was a monster called the George-osaurus. That's solid pun work. That's terrible. But if you're gonna make that pun, that's the pun you make. George-osaurus.
Okay, for the kids at home, explain George Soros. You're in the middle of this. You're paid by George, of course. So.
George Soros is I think a billionaire. Contributes a lot to politics, which I also disagree with. I think we should get money out of politics, but he happens to be a billionaire who tends to donate his money or lobby towards at least socially progressive causes most of the time. So he's a big boogeyman for people on the right, and they will often sort of dog whistle anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about him because he's Jewish.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I didn't think that was... He very famously did not interact with Donald Trump throughout his presidency.
Now you've really done it, the swamp creature shouted. You've made the George-osaurus mad. Not as mad as you made us, came a shout. Donald turned to see all the people who lived outside the swamp. They'd come to help.
Are any of them not white? Just guessing.
There's one non-white guy. He's right here.
Let me see.
And he's very, very...
Oh, but he's approachably black. Or brown or something. I can't really see.
This is the one non-white person that I can see.
Oh, wow. That guy's just got a tan.
Yeah, and that's debatable. Honestly. But yeah, the rest are...
Yeah, he also says different skin tone.
White.
Holy fucking shit. Wow. Surprise.
It's okay. One of them brought a fire extinguisher. They're gonna beat one of the dinosaurs to death with it. It's a January 6th joke. It's not too soon now. It's been half a year.
Is that the end of it?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're about 2/3 done.
I was gonna say, that's a weird cliffhanger, so, yeah.
They were all armed with shovels. Drain the swamp, they shouted. Drain the swamp. Suddenly, they were all digging alongside Donald because there were so many of them, the trench was dug quickly, and in a moment, the swamp water began to drain. I love that what is this supposed to equate to in his presidency? He still, at his rallies, is complaining about the swamp. He had 4 full years. He didn't do anything.
I will toss out there, though, that the practice of a person trying to build a trench alone and then discovering that without communal support, one cannot take on larger tasks because one person only has the power to affect a small amount of things, even with the kind of power Donald Trump has. Rather, a communal approach, a community approach towards solving our own problems could be the better path. And isn't that surprising that that's exactly the kind of thing that they don't like?
The swamp creatures can't believe their eyes. They began to shriek in horror, then they ran towards the trench. But they didn't stop, they just kept going, chasing the money flowing out of the swamp. It's okay. Donald sent all the money flowing out of the swamp directly into his family's bank accounts, so don't worry, there's no more swamp.
Yeah, it's gonna flow.
The Jared Rex has all the swamp money now.
Even the king chased the money, and the Georgosaurus
Who's the
too.
king?
I don't know.
Who is that?
I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't like make it Hillary Clinton, like she's the queen or something.
Right, that was gonna be the obvious joke.
Maybe she shows up in the other books. But the money flowed away so fast and so far that all those chasing it were never ever seen again, and that's why no one hears from Mitch McConnell or Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I just opened up to a random page in this just to see what kind of things were in my version of the book, and I'm not gonna say any words. I'm just going to slowly raise this into camera. So that's my book. I'm not reading any of the text on it. I'm just gonna put it back now. So that's there. This is itchy. I'm taking it off. Why did I wear this? Because I was gonna be in drag for this. Look, double drag. Double drag is just not being in drag. It cancels out.
All the people cheered. Once the swamp was drained, everything looked different. It was beautiful. Flowers bloomed and trees grew. After all that, the people still couldn't talk to the king. What was the point of all they had done? A little girl had an idea. What if Donald were our new king, she said. Donald, everyone shouted, would you like to be our king and live in the castle and let us talk to you when we have a problem?
What?
Remember how Donald Trump cleaned up politics before he was elected and then got in and everything was great?
And then, this is like very much Donald Trump is my daddy energy, so... Yeah.
You don't need a king, Donald said. You're free now. A king orders his people around, but whoever leads a free people has to take orders from them. You mean like a president? This man has invented the concept of democracy right here. This is Democrates.
That's Democrates. Yeah. That's true.
He famously held a club like that. Sure, and if that's what you're looking for, I guess, I'm your caveman. Everyone cheered. The people gave Donald a special outfit that represented their newfound freedom. And he has a... American flag. Yeah. Did they hunt a saber-toothed tiger with an American flag skin to make that?
Of course, that's how we got the American flag.
Betsy Ross single-handedly chasing down...
Is that Twitter, by the way? Is that little bird a Twitter bird?
I believe it's supposed to be a Twitter bird, yes.
Okay.
So Donald and his family went to live in the castle, and he did some remodeling, but he kept it under budget, and he's putting a gold...
He kept it under budget. So, the White House, I don't really care about the White House or the press releases about the White House or how they keep the White House or any of that.
I don't really either.
But it did have this very dystopian feel to it.
Remember the one? I think it was the first.
It was just like bleak.
The first Christmas.
Yeah.
Was so weird. And
what's her face got a hold of it, or one of her doubles?
And Melania fucked up the rose garden or whatever. Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah, it got all changed and shit. It's very strange. Say what you will about Biden, he's failing on multiple accounts. He's doing well in some other things, but he's definitely still a lib, and he's still a Democrat, and he still does bad shit sometimes. It feels like, for the most part, they know they live there, and they're just like, yeah, this is a place we want it to look nice and feel homey. And just, even George W. Bush in between killing overseas brown children, felt like a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird how narcissism makes people just that way that he is. It felt, you know what? I got a very similar feeling in your dad's house. A very similar, that vibe, you know what I mean?
I'm not kidding. I extensively in therapy talked about how... this is going to sound like cringe as shit. I don't want to do this, but...
Cringe? to discuss therapy and the ideas you have?
How weirdly re-traumatizing it was having Donald Trump in as the president, because it felt like for so much of my life I was at the whim of a narcissist, like a really destructive alcoholic narcissist who had control of my life, my dad. And I couldn't do anything because I was a minor, and I got out of that house as soon as possible. Like, right when I turned 18, I moved out and got an apartment with you. So from that point on, I was like, okay, at least I'm not, under the thumb of this. And then all of a sudden, someone just like my dad becomes the leader of the fucking planet de facto. And that was like, that mentally fucked me up. I had to talk about that in therapy a lot. Scary stuff. I'm sure I'm not the only one who felt that way. I imagine a lot of people who had to deal with like narcissistic, malignant people in their life felt some echoes of that dealing and listening to Donald Trump.
The timing of it too, because you were like on the cusp of coming out kind of when that was going on. Or at least I guess when he got elected you weren't. You were probably I don't know how the timeline of your events happened, but I remember that was prior to the beard experiment. So
we don't talk of the beard experiment.
I talk about it sometimes as a very clear in retrospect moment of you like really battling with like I'm masculine. It's funny. It's funny in retrospect because I know where you've ended up and it's okay. But
I tried, and I can look back like in an objective way. I can look back at that, and when I was in decent shape and I had the beard, like I looked fine.
Terrible.
If I was cis, that would have been perfectly fine. That would have been a good look for me. But boy, is it gross looking back subjectively, because I don't like that. I much prefer myself now, which is nice. So
yeah, I agree. I think it's a just kind of one of those growing moments that you think about just on the way through. It's like because it was weird how you approached me with it. Not to change the subject totally away from Donald Trump, but it's sort of involved with it because I was in Idaho when you were discussing it, and that was either right before or right after Donald Trump had been elected. Because I moved back shortly after, and I remember you like deliberating much deeper than anyone had ever deliberated on a facial hair growth ever, and I thought that was strange. And then obviously with retrospect I go, well, Marie, thanks so much for the $2. I had a full Gandalf once, never again. Hell yeah. Glad that you figured out that Gandalf wasn't the way to be. TK Act Boxer with a $5. Y'all love your channel, guys. Curious if you'll ever do Christian movie reviews again. Some of my favorites. Oh yeah, for sure. I think the Christ Assassin one is next for real this time.
33 Assassin 33 AD, I think it's called. There's one more page in this book, by the way.
Jake did briefly share a state with you. I lived in Boise.
It just says, and the people all lived happily ever after.
They did.
Bigly.
Bigly. Can you do me a favor? I know I normally do the thumbnails for this, but if you could take a picture of that with your phone and just you could send it to Discord and I'll take care of it. Just I need to incorporate the Bigly into this in some way. I need this. Oh no! Did you knock something over?
It's good. It's fine.
Okay, good.
I'll take a
squirt water in my mouth.
Now.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Okay, that was weirdly sexual.
Yeah. Never mind. It wasn't as messy as I thought it might be. That's what she said. I want to move to Canada so I can get health care, but I'm too useless for them. Tell them that you are a moose. They will find many uses. So this is Donald Drains the Swamp. We have 3 books. Is that all 3 of them? Is that the only 3 they made?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. So is this okay? Do I have the second or third? Do they have? How do we know? How do we know which order they come in?
I think I looked at the publishing dates, or I Googled it last time to find out. I know the one we just read is the first one, but
then the other one you have named?
The other one I have is.
So this one's 2019.
Donald and the Fake News, and this one is from 2020, so this is the final one.
Okay, so this is the next one we have. Then will be mine, and it is called Donald Builds the Wall. So he's going to build a wall, and apparently he has a golden brick on the top of it.
But he didn't.
By the way,
he didn't build the wall, though.
Didn't build a wall. That's true. That's a true thing. That didn't happen.
So there was a Nancy Pelosi dinosaur, but I guess there's also a human Nancy Pelosi.
That's good.
Oh, they're still, I mean, they're consistent in the racial makeup of the tribe. It's still the same one non-white caveman.
The Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito. Nessie Pelosi. Ooh, that's a nice one. That's a good one. Right is trading critical race theory for this.
Weirdly,
Critical
the
race
opponent, maybe, I don't know if they wrote this in early 2020, but the opponent that Donald goes up against in the election in this one seems to be the Bernie Sanders and not the Joe Biden.
Bernie Sanders?
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe they thought he was going to win.
Maybe. And it looks like his girlfriend in this is the AOC character.
His girlfriend is AOC?
Implying that Bernie
Right.
Sanders and AOC are sleeping with each other or something, even though they're really just similarly politically. That's gross.
I don't like the idea of Bernie Sanders having an orgasm.
I agree.
He's too pure. He seems like a nice guy that would be like, no, I'll do it for me. You don't have to.
The top 1% of the top 1% of the top 1% of Coomers are getting the orgasms.
Wow. I didn't know I had to be eaten. It's over for me. Bernie would go. Bernie only gives oral. He does not have sex. That's true. Anyway, so that's the end of the book. I don't even know what to take out of that. It's just a dumb book.
Yeah.
It's just weird. I really want to know, Trump supporters, why you first of all be on this channel. Second of all, stay to the end of this to hear me ask this question. And third of all, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, get a hobby, get a friend, go to therapy. Mostly the last one. Go to therapy. You need help. He's just a man that you vaguely agreed with politically. Please think about things.
They're not.
More.
They're off the deep end. I had another discussion with Peter a couple weeks ago. You know, Peter that I've talked about before. He's he's not good. There are people who are going to be following Trump for the rest of their lives long after he dies. It's going to be real fucked up.
I'm really excited for the first cult. Like a real cult, not just like they're doing culty things, like they worship and like have a seance and wear robes and Nikes.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Well, they're going to be like a small little cult, so I'm really excited for that. I want to see where they go. Like, are they going to go to Mar-a-Lago? They're going to walk into the sea together or something? It's going to be amazing. Like, that documentary is going to be nuts. By the way, the documentary that's going to come out about Donald Trump, definitely that's going to happen, is going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I feel like any future dramatization, like a movie about Donald Trump, is going to fail, even if it's a good movie.
Yeah, no one wants to see that.
Like, let's say you had an actor come in and do a perfect imitation of Donald Trump. The audience would be like, what the fuck? This performance is terrible. Because Donald Trump is such a weird fuck, and he behaves so abnormally, that watching anyone else behave exactly that way, even if they're portraying him, looks unnatural.
Yeah. Well, you could just get Joaquin Phoenix to do it.
Sure.
You could just make Joker too. That'd be it. Be done. The worst part about that movie is Twitter after the movie came out.
I like Joker.
I like the movie too. I'm just it's the same people that have the, They always have the worst role models out of movies.
All right, that's the end of this video.
What's your dad's favorite food?
My dad's favorite food?
Mm-hmm.
He likes barbecue a lot. Maybe ribs? No, his favorite food is lasagna, I think. My mom makes it for him like every year on his birthday.
Very sweet. Lasagna. Okay.
Why does that... Who asked that?
No one asked that. I'm just wondering.
Why do you want to know what my dad's favorite food is?
Because Donald Trump eats like a child, and I was
Mm.
wondering if that was a common thread. If he also ate McDonald's like a bunch. That could be the link. It all comes down to the Big Mac.
No, my dad has very different eccentricities.
Does he drink Diet Coke? No, he drinks Budweiser, doesn't he?
He does. He drinks if he's at home, he is drinking a beer, or vodka, or both.
Ooh. I'm drinking a water.
Thank you for not cum-shotting that one. I appreciate it.
Not everything's a cum shot, okay? Sometimes it's just spritz.
Most things are.
Most things are not cum shots.
Prove me wrong.
Lasagna is good. You can still eat lasagna if Hannah's dad likes lasagna. That's a fucking...
I like lasagna.
I make a fucking killer lasagna. Have you ever eaten my lasagna? That sounds more sexual than I imagined.
Lasagna is not a euphemism
like
for any.
No, I know, but it sounded euphemistic the way I said it.
Is lasagna ass? Is the lasagna ass?
It can be.
All right, this is for
ass.
real. The end of the recording now.
If
lasagna.
everything can become shots,
lasagna
lasagna can be ass.